got a bunch of finals to play for the rest of the season now. Do you feel like the team has what it takes to save the season?
Yeah, I think we have to. Obviously it's an uphill task. I think we're 11 points off sixth place, but we probably know that we need to win every single game because we're relying on a lot of the teams above us to have drop points and slip up. So yeah, we're treating it like it's 8 finals to go, and can we win all 8? Obviously it's a tough task, but I think with Marco coming back, Chico getting fitter, they'll be 2 massive players for us, and they can make a real big difference. And stranger things have happened.
Because how much do having those playmakers help? Do you feel like that's something that the team has been missing throughout most of the season, is just that ability to create goal-scoring opportunities? Yeah,
I think so. I think there used to be an old saying in England that you're only ever as good as your forward players, and obviously Costa's done amazing. I think he scored 7 goals, but he's had to, a couple of penalties. I think he's scored goals from the halfway line. I can't remember him having a game where he's missed his 2 or 3 chances, which I think as a striker you want. You don't mind being in there as long as you're in there. We need obviously goals from elsewhere on the pitch as well, but I think that those attacking players are what you often live and die by, and you can organise your team to keep clean sheets, and you're obviously going to need the defensive actions and moments from players. But I think if we look back on the season, I don't think we've had too many shots, or I think we'd be towards the lower end of goals scored. So I think that's somebody like Marco, you can tell even just in training his class and his quality that he brings, and Chico, like I say, is getting sharper as the day goes by. So hopefully those 2 can have a huge impact over the next 8 games.
Because how much does that affect you guys defensively as well? Because it feels like if you're not creating too many chances, one mistake at the back, 1 goal, and it's hard to bounce back. Do you feel like there's more pressure on you guys defensively as a result of that? Yeah,
you do, massively. I think they work both work both ways. I imagine, obviously I've never been a striker, but I imagine if you've got confidence that your team can be solid defensively and keep clean sheets, on the flip side you only need 1 chance or 2 chances to score, and you get a good chance of winning. On the flip side, if your team's leaking goals left, right and centre, you go into the game as a striker probably feeling under pressure, think, I need to score a hat-trick today, and it works the other way. Defensively, if you've got strikers in form and you're creating chances as a team, that you've got to do your job of keep a clean sheet, and the team is going to be successful. Whereas like you just said, you put yourself under pressure that as a team, if we might not be creating much, so we have to keep clean sheets. And I think if you can get the balance right, most successful teams get the balance spot on, and I think we did that in the past. And you look at the top teams in this, Auckland, Adelaide, get the balance pretty decent, and we need to find that balance.
A lot of young players in this team, Scotty. Have you had to provide extra leadership for those players who perhaps haven't been through as challenging a time as this before?
Yeah, I think so. I think that obviously, we haven't got loads of older players in the squad. And a few of the older players that are very new to this environment this year haven't played in this league before. So I think, myself, Roofs, Costa, Payne, Paolo, we've had a couple of chats with the younger players as a group, and then a lot more sort of individually about, not just about going through this, but what it takes to have a career in the game, and the steps you need to take, how you need to act, how you need to behave off the pitch, on the pitch. So yeah, I feel like we have to do probably a bit more of that this year.
And as far as defensively is concerned, it's still been a pretty solid defensive season. There's a couple of outliers, the Auckland FC result, for example. But do you feel as though it is still a fairly solid defensive unit?
Yeah, I think so. I think the stats will prove that. I think, like you say, apart from the 3rd Auckland game where we conceded 6, was a disaster. But apart from that, I think we were 3rd best. I don't know if we still are 3rd best, maybe gone down to 4th or 5th now after that game. But yeah, I think it's defensively, it's been pretty decent in terms of the goals conceded, clean sheets. But we need, for the remaining 8 games, we're going to need to improve even the defensive side of things if we're going to do something special.
And can you compare last season to this season? Last season you were defensively good, didn't really, weren't setting the world on fire in terms of creating a lot of chances. Was it just that when the chances came, they were taken, or what is the difference?
No, I think we definitely created more chances last year, but I think you're spot on, Piney. I think we were defensively good. I hate keeping talking about last year, but it's hard not to, because we came so close and it's been such a contrast. But yeah, I think we did create more. I think we had a bit more threat going forward on the break. We had a lot more pace in the team. We had a lot more of a goal threat in the team. Zavada didn't play. Oldie chipped in with a few goals. BK always scores 6 or 7 goals each year. He's been in the A-League. He's doing that now. You lose those players. It's difficult. to replace that. I think, like I said earlier, you know, we've struggled to quite find that balance of defensive play and threats going forward.
And Western United this weekend, they've got the, at the moment, leading goal scorer in the comp, and Noah Botic. Is he a guy you have to specifically legislate for to make sure he's kept under control?
No, I don't think we'll have a specific plan for him. I think they're a very good team. I think if you concentrate too much on Botic, they've got another very good striker in Ibasuki, who's been a very good player for a long time in this league now. So I don't think we can focus too much on one player. I think they've got a lot of good attacking players. Angus Thurgate's a really good player, arriving late from midfield. So we'll treat them as we do for every game, and every team will have a game plan. We'll go through that a little bit yesterday, more today. But listen, Noah Botic has done fantastically well this season. I think there was a lot of promise a couple of years ago. I think he had a few injuries, if I'm right, and I think he'll be a top player.
How's morale in the squad after the run of results, and how do you try to keep things positive, knowing that you still have a chance, albeit a slim one?
I think the morale, honestly, has been okay. I think that's probably the advantage of having so many younger players that, you know, they're just going with the flow. It's the first season, a lot of them in professional and first team football, and it is probably weighs harder on the older players because you've seen so much and you've been so many ups and downs. When it is tough, it probably weighs a bit heavier, but you have the experience to know that, you know, a couple of good results can change in a flash, whereas the younger players are just sort of riding the wave of being playing first team football. So I think the morale's been okay for where we are and what our results have been, but like I say, we've got to start on the weekend with a positive result, and hopefully everything can rise with that.
Yeah, and a few weeks ago there was a bit of speculation you were off to Japan during the transfer window. Are you able to clarify what sort of happened there?
No, I think that was just more Twitter talk. I think there was maybe one or two conversations, but nothing else more than that.